Hello everyone, I'm Adib from Imperative Machines. Today I'd like to show a small update on things that we have been working on at Imperative, specifically on a problem that we have faced, and I think it's important to address for anyone who works with AI products is that sometimes we are unnecessarily calling more expensive LLMs, and that's costing us much more tokens. So what I'm trying to say is that even for the simplest of the queries, like for example, I can ask an LLM what is 2 plus 2, it's still calling all of those expensive models. For example, it can call Claude Opus or Claude Sonnet, but it can still be answered by things like Gemini Nano or something like that, Gemini Flash, or even the small models from Anthropic like Claude Haiku or something like that. So we wanted to build something where, we could smartly route prompts to specific models. And a couple of the examples that we have been seeing online is that a lot of people use another LLM to call another LLM, which is just absurd, something that we thought it was pretty inefficient. So we built Orkestra. Orkestra is a very simple library that you can just install via pip. So it's very easy to install. You can just go ahead and just install Orkestra router. And yeah, so it will just install the latest version, which is 0.1.2 as of now, and sorry, 0.1.1, and you can just get started. So the whole premise of Orkestra is that it's going to automatically route to the most efficient and to the most probable LLM for that specific request. So what I'm trying to say is that if you just do stuff like import Orkestra as O, and you can create multiple providers. For example, you can do Anthropic, or I'm just going to call it A, and O.provider. I can just do Anthropic, and you're going to have to pass in your API key, and you can also create, I'm just going to call it Anthropic regardless, and you can also do Google. And yeah, and you can pretty much just start chatting. So for example, I can just type in Anthropic, right? Sorry. And chat, I can just start chatting. Now, as you can see that it doesn't really take in a model name. It's automatically going to figure out what model will work the best for your specific chat request. So for example, if I have something very simple like what is 2 plus 2, it's probably just going to call in the model for Claude Haiku, right? It can be Claude Haiku 3 or Claude Haiku 4. And for something that's much more difficult, it can be, let's say, a really long chat or really long coding, complex coding task. It's probably just going to call in the Claude Opus 4. So it knows specifically how to classify each query to a certain model, and it's actually going to save you a lot of money, because think about it, if you are processing way less tokens and you are pretty much costing the service, the Anthropic service, way less money when you are actually invoking a much smaller language model. So this is just a very simple example of how Orkestra works, but if you can actually scale it up. So we already have something like a monitoring dashboard that actually allows you to see how much money you are saving and how much processing that you are doing. So if we just go to analytics, by the way, you can find this exact example from Orkestra's examples directory, analytics module demo.py. This is where you're probably going to find the all of the examples that I have used, I think, except for the simple one. So you can just run it just like this, Python 3 analytics 5, and it's going to launch a web dashboard. So it already has built-in monitoring. You can always toggle it on or off, and it's going to create some requests. So these are mock requests. So this is essentially a machine learning library that actually dictates what specific model should be called based on the context of the chat request that you are putting in. So as you can see, that's always picking up the best model fit for this very specific chat request. So this will eventually save up a lot of money down the line if you scale it up. So as you can see that we are saving very fractional money, of course, but if you scale it up to millions of requests, millions of chat requests per day or per month, it's actually going to save a lot of money down the line. And you can also inspect all of the requests. So it's actually going to make 150 requests. So while it does that, you can inspect the real-time requests that are actually coming in. So I think we're done with the 150 requests, and you can pretty much see, you can always toggle in the light or dark mode, and you can actually see like the model distribution, which model got the most calling, and which provider. So you can obviously, create multiple providers and pretty much pass in all of your chat to those providers. So it's pretty smart like that. So you can inspect like the exact prompt that it was given. You can also see what were the models and what were the cost and how much we actually saved on per request. Right. So this is actually quite helpful for us. Let me know if you guys think that this is quite helpful for you. Thank you so much. Hopefully we're going to see a lot of more updates into the library. Bye bye.